So there we are in the big city of Barstow, and we're not too sure that we hadn't ought to just get a motel and stop right there. But on the other hand, we talked about it. The weather seemed fine, and I think we'd gotten away from the post a little later there at San Francisco than we intended, so we weren't quite on the schedule we wanted. So after talking about it a little, we piled back in that car and started on south. I think it's Tehachapi Pass. It's not a big pass, but bless me, excuse me, we're not very far up it, and it starts to snow. You have to really slow down. Excuse me. Well, Tom was still under a restriction that he couldn't do anything physical. He could drive, but he wasn't going to do any. He couldn't do any work. He was supposed to be very, very careful. But he's driving, doing a good job. And where you know how those passes are, you do a lot of this back and forth. And dadgum, that snow's coming down fast. There's trucks on that thing coming both down and going up. It's getting dangerous. So we decided he had some chains in the car. We better put the chains on. I'd never put chains on in my life. So he found a place to pull off, get the chains out, and I go back there and try to, in the dark. Excuse me. I finally got one chain on the uphill side on and could not get the other one on, so help me God. But we decided to try it. And sure enough, it made enough difference that we could go on up. But it was slow going and dangerous going. We got right to the top, and sure enough, we were hoping to find a motel. And sure enough, there was a filling station and a tiny motel up there at the top of the pass. So we pulled in, we were getting some gas, and said to the man, "Any chance that you have a room that we could rent?" No. Then he looked in and saw those little kids. "Oh, hell," he said. "You guys are willing to take a cold room, make up the beds yourselves?" "Yeah, I've got a room. We'll take it." I can't remember if we shared the one room, but I think maybe we did. One way or the other, we got out of the cold, got night's rest, got up the next morning to beautiful snow. Oh, by the way, Tom didn't have any antifreeze in that NASH, so he had to drain it that night, and then we had to fill it back with water the next day. The beauty's fine, but driving in snow slows you way down. And incidentally, Tom was extremely proud of the miles per gallon, that NASH got. Well, we don't have to go very far the next morning. Dropping down on the other side, I guess, is the warmer side. I don't know. We got out of the snow pretty easy. Making good time. I think we went right on over to the Grand Canyon that day. Maybe there was a stop in between, but I don't remember if there was. When we got to the Grand Canyon, there'd been some snow there. We pulled in and we looked around, and it wasn't like it is now. There was hardly anybody there, no rangers, no nothing. It's a wonder we didn't slip and fall and lose our lives, because we went right up and looked around, Very impressive. Didn't spend a lot of time. Stopped at 2 or 3 of the little pull-ins, got back on the road, and we get to Williams, Arizona. And the car was running right. I want to believe and say that I think we're running out of gas. Tom said, "No, we're not out of gas. I know how far we can go on a tank of gas, and we're not out of gas." Well, we had to stop, that's for sure, so we found a motel again. And the next morning, found a garageman to check it, and he kept saying, "I think you're out of gas." And Tom kept saying, "It's not that, it's the carburetor." Well, eventually the man said, "I don't care what you say, I'm putting some gas in it." And, he put some gas in it, and it ran, started right up and ran. But to this day, Tom says it wasn't the gas, it was the carburetor. But the deal was, you go uphill and you drive in snow, you're burning gas a lot faster than you normally would. we were safe. That's the main thing.